Let's see if we can get this to work this time, huh? Okay. Here we go. It's time for Castlevania 3 for the 4th time. But thankfully we haven't done this 4 full times. I feel like I'm doing as much asset reuse as Konami here with how many times I've had to start this one over. Yeesh. Hey, Trevor. I like how you're making bullet points for me on what to talk about, too. That's not a big deal. So, let's see here. Castlevania 3 is my favorite of the NES Castlevanias, and I'd say the first 4. I definitely like this one more than 4. Yes, I am indeed Trevor Beanmont. This is going to be a very good, quick run. Not going to show everything off in this game, it's just trying to get to the end. It's also not a single segment run either. In fact, this was done, I believe, in 5 segments. The first half of the game, and then each of the final 4 stages all had their own run because I guess I'm a baby. Always gonna take the holy water over the knife. The knife is just not good. Doesn't do a lot of damage. Only travels in a straight line instead of takes care of enemies on the ground or the air. Ugh. Thanks. Oh man, making our debut on Hitbox here because Twitch is a little bit on the slow side in the chat. I really like the soundtrack in this game. Doesn't matter whether it's the NES one or the one on the Famicom Disk System. Seeing as how I never owned a Famicom Disk System, I'm gonna have to go with the NES one. Nah, who am I kidding? I don't think anybody's gonna ask what mine is. It's like, yeah. I think by now people know that I just stream whenever. Just so happens it's been more than a year now, I believe. In fact, I think it was last early September when we finished the Castlevania 3 video. Or, Castlevania 3, Castlevania 4. I'm so confused. They all look the same. Even Trevor looks like Simon. Ah! And I guarantee you at some point I'm going to call Trevor Simon in this playthrough. Fleamen are a pain in the butt, but, as of course, birds remain the toughest enemy in a Castlevania game. I know some people are probably thinking it's Medusa heads, like you, but I gotta disagree with that. Man, the problem with the Castlevania 4 one is the controller was way too sensitive when I was playing at times. Didn't help that I was bad at combat, yes, no doubt about that. Not taking that knife anywhere. I don't know what my problem was with Castlevania 1's combat. I thought I did that pretty well, actually. Minus choking to Dracula at the very end. Our first boss is a skeleton knight thing, and who cares, he's done already. That's the end of the first stage. Pretty good. But now we're going to find the reason why I like this game so much. As soon as we're done with the score tallying, that is. And that would be because this game has split paths. Now, originally I did a recording where I took the top path. It worked fine, I got through it. But that recording didn't save, so forget it. Besides that, taking that level up top leads down to this level anyway. Totally not taking that upper path because I'm a scrub. Wait, what? Hey. Come on, that's a little harsh. Sheesh. It's a shame, too, because I wish that first recording would have saved, because that level, the clock tower, has my favorite song in the game. Oh well. This one's pretty good, too. The early songs in Castlevania 3 are really good. Then it kind of sort of sputters for a bit, but it picks up near the end again. Nope, time for the moment of truth. Yes, since this is the fourth take, this is where I was dropping so many frames previously. Hoping this time it completely works, because we've changed the settings up. Also getting rid of Mr. Owl. Who cares about him, anyway? Yep, so far so good. I'm liking this. And if we lose frames along the way later, it's okay, as long as it's not just huge chunks. I just hope the video doesn't look poor on playback, but you never know. Ah, the blood skeletons. Those guys that just will not go down. At least not with Trevor. It's kind of funny, I can name enemies in Mario and Mega Man pretty darn easily, but you ask me to name enemies in Sonic or Castlevania and I'll just go blank. That's not a bone dragon, that's a... what is that? Oh, forget it, it doesn't matter anyway. We're going down steps. And we're going to have another split path choice coming up. Well, of course the Nintendo kid's not going to know Sega enemies. Sheesh. Anyway, are we going to go down to the marsh area? Of course not, because we want Sypha in the party. Or Sippa, however you want to pronounce it. This was my... well, not my first time playing it, because let's face it, this is more like a take-two. It gets a little hard near the end. So far, it's manageable. No way. Nobody's gonna do console war stuff when they see this. Come on. Jeez, it's not like I haven't played about as many Sonic games as I have Mario so far. At least if we count full Mario playthroughs and not just the individual games. Now I'm going to assume you like the Famicom Disk System version of this game more. And it's mostly because of the soundtrack. Yeah, that's what I figured. Obviously I haven't played that version, having not owned a Famicom Disk System. Yet doing a Mario series that has 4 videos that are going to be about Famicom Disk System games. Yeah, the Japanese version is easier. That's usually the case with Castlevania for some reason. I believe part of the reason is that some of the hitboxes are way easier to exploit in that game. Especially with Sypha. Now we get to take on a Kirby mini-boss, Bonkers. He's not as fast as he used to be. He's not going to throw any coconuts at us, no. He's also very easy. But then again, it's an early boss. Of course he's going to be like this. Just don't want to get too eager to drop down just for to have him turn around and hit you. Already happened to me before. Got the 1-up for 20,000 points, grabbed the meat we didn't need, got the orb, and let across defy gravity. But wait, there's more. Definitely gonna take Sypha with us. Very good with the magic. Yep, him. Sypha, totally a he. You better believe it. So there are 3 party members you can get in this game. You can only have one at a time. In fact, you can only have one. If you pick another one, the previous partner will leave your group. We could have got Grant had I had taken the clock tower stage. He can climb on walls, he throws knives. He's actually much better in the Japanese version. That's another reason that game's easier. He's okay, but Sypha has magical spells that he can use. Had we had taken the bottom route, I believe eventually we'd hit an area where we could get to the 3rd character. No, I think that's a good silly running joke to go with for now. And that's where we could get Alucard. He can turn into a bat. But yeah, Sypha's, and the reason we chose him is because of those magic spells. Some of them are really, really good. The fire's great for this stage, although the others that he can get are better to me. I think there's 3 in all that they can have. Fire, water, and ice. You'll see why I really, really like the water spell later in the game. But for now, fire suffices. Absolutely not. This game is definitely much harder than Castlevania 1. I think enemy placement's a part of it, but there are also a lot of crazy jumps this game wants you to make. I will say it's more tough because of jumps than it is enemies. You'll see this later on in the run, for sure. It's kind of cray-cray. True. These games are more about platforming than enemies anyway. At the same time, there are some enemies that you're going to see that are going to cause problems later on. These kind of jumps always make me nervous because you have to be close to the edge to do them, and if you take one step too far, you plummet like a stone. I think I had analyzed a map for like the first couple stages, and then after that I just said, you know what, no, let's do this pretty much blind and just see how it goes. Medusa here. But not too much of a problem when you have a triple cross, aka my favorite weapon in all of Castlevania. It's basically the win button. Ugh, anytime I see that knife pop up, I'm like, nope, just in case I can't jump over it properly. Speaking of enemy placement, those bricks on the left will disintegrate on you, but that guy, that headless little swordsman there, he doesn't mind poking you back into the hole if you're not careful. There we have a little problem with the D-pad and actually holding it down long enough to get the meat. Always fighting the Xbox 360 controller. Always. Yeesh. You know, I'll be honest, in most of these playthroughs, I wish I could just take the SNES controller or a PS1 one and just do that. Also, these jumps are what I'm talking about as being hard. Those tilting platforms will become a much bigger problem in the later stages. There's one in particular. But, again, worst enemy time. These stupid birds. Ugh. They always drive me nuts. They almost always hit me into a pit. If I'm not careful, I'm just usually picked off by them. Yeah, I've always said it before, the two most annoying enemies in platformers, especially in the early days, are birds or fish. In Castlevania, it's definitely birds. In Mario, I'd definitely say it's the fish. Well, a couple coffins. Totally not a boss from Castlevania 1 we're fighting here. But if you thought that boss was reused, it's Bonkers again. He's back. Yep, it's totally a rehash. I also like how I'm just like, there we go, now I finally figured out how to do this. I still like it, even if it does repeat bosses at times. The split path thing is what really makes the game interesting, though, because there are 10 blocks overall in this. And when you get, and you can go so many different ways. Like I said, I think we'll just be playing 8 of them since we already skipped block 2. Then again, we might still have 9. I'm not completely sure anymore. It's been about a month since I played this game. Taking the ship to the castle here. Getting close, but we're not there yet. This stage gives me some problems. Part of it's because I'm a fool. I don't think I ever made it through this room without getting hit. Well, I kind of didn't want to use Sypha too much because I didn't want to have easy mode going constantly. And besides, this, trust me though, when we get to the second half of the game, it's gonna be like, nope. This song's okay. It's kind of interesting. Oops. And I'm gone. Yeah, I don't remember how many times I fall apart in this. I know there are quite a few, and I saved a few of the extra deaths for bloopers in between stages, and I'm stuck with the knife, so now I'm really just cursing under my breath, I do believe. So embarrassing. You know, we talk about the Medusa heads being annoying. These guys basically have higher wave arc patterns, so to me they're even more annoying than Medusa heads. Ah, the NES, home of enemies that travel in a wave arc, because why not? Doesn't matter if it's Mega Man, doesn't matter if it's Castlevania, they're in so many games. Pretty sure they're in Kirby as an enemy. Thanks. Oops. Well, it's nice to be able to go through this one. It's like I'd wanted to play Castlevania 3 forever. Basically since the end of the Castlevania 4 run last year. These things are kind of annoying, too. Trevor himself can't take these things out, as I almost call him Simon. Told you it was going to happen. Should I play Simon's Quest? Man, I don't know about that. If I do that, that's probably going to be on my own time. Also, this is kind of an interesting little room once we finally start moving up these stairs. Oops. It's kind of an auto-scroll. Well, it is an auto-scrolling room, and you have to keep on climbing. Do not like this jump. A lot of jumps in Castlevania that are going to be a problem are those kind of jumps where you have to jump just at the very edge. Because like I said, if you get to the edge of a jump and you take one step too far, you just plummet like a stone. You can't really correct yourself. Yeah. Slow-moving auto-scrolling. Never a good time. Trying to remember if this is the stage with the room that I really do not like. We'll find out in a bit, though. I think it would be 5OC or 6OC. I don't mind auto-scroll if it's moving at a reasonable rate. And I will say, advantage-wise, you can hurry through certain things, at least, because enemies won't spawn if you keep ahead of the curve. Oh yeah, this room, I hate it. So many enemies. So easy to get hit. In the Japanese version, because I watched a run of that before playing this, these fireballs are timed much, much better for you. Here, though, you have maybe just a smidge to dodge. And what's worse is there are stairs there that block me from trying to get through this, so I take an unnecessary hit, and then you're just like, are you kidding me? Yeah. See you in a few. I'll carry on. After all, this is for people to enjoy. Of course, you're gonna miss an accidental mistake coming up here. Spoilers. Let's just climb up the staircase. That's a bird, and oh my goodness. Urgh. Let's try that again after going through that room after a couple more hits, shall we? Yeah. This stage is not my friend, and it's not going well either. I'm desperately looking for a piece of meat, and believe it or not, I'm gonna hit just about every block but the one you're supposed to. I believe it's the one right to the right of me right now, but never mind, because Frankenstein's monster isn't too bad. I was so lucky to get through that fight, but so happy, as you can see me jumping and like, yeah! Pretty good. Whew. And this would be the final stage of my first recording session, and a very fun one at that. Another good song. Then again, I don't know why I keep saying another good song when this game's just full of them. Whoops. It's kind of confusing why I don't use Sypha as much, although right now I know why, because I don't have any magic. Always a knife. Never a cross when you need one. Oh, now the real test if the frame counter can handle this. Yes, it's constantly pushing you back in this case, although later on it'll, in fact, just as soon as we cross this, it'll push me forward. Merman trying to get in the way, not gonna let that happen. And then a painful jump where an enemy can come from behind and completely mess you up. No way was I gonna turn around then, because if I did, I'd be falling into another pit. Goodness knows I've already done that twice. So let's just continue on. Wonder what the general consensus is with the people that watch this on where Castlevania ranks for them in terms of the old platformer series. Obviously, I'm a Mario guy first, and then I'd say Donkey Kong Country. But, and of course, Mega Man and Sonic fighting for third place. Eh. Not like either series has many good ones coming out anymore. Ew. Then again, neither does Castlevania. I should know, I played that Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate game. Ugh. Yeah, maybe I'll play Simon's Quest just to prove that it's not the worst Castlevania. Also, I know that holy water totally hit that guy up there, but it didn't seem to do any damage to him. That was kind of annoying. Not too much to say about this one other than make sure you don't get hit by all the axes out here, and always keep a good weapon on you like holy water, or the cross, whatever works. That bat always showed up, and by this point I'd been used to it because, like I said, this was my second take. And I did actually mess up the first take on this stage of all places. Eh. Ah! So annoyed that I picked up that knife, but it was okay. What's funny is if you take the lower route, because again, there's the top 6 block, and then there's the other. I think that one is so much harder from looking at it, because there are a lot of ridiculous jumps in it. Maybe one day I'll go back and play the normal route. Yeah, we're not only in 6 now, we're at the end of 6, and fighting a Zelda 2 boss. At this point, knowing I can't take any hits, I'm kind of nervous. I'm glad. So anytime I see them come close to my side, I'm just running away, even though I know there are safe spots on the rightmost block when he pops up there. And whatnot. I'm just trying to make sure that the axe can get him just a little bit here. You know, I never realized that, yeah, they are fire-breathing dragons rising up from water. At least the one in Zelda 2 is in a lava pit. And of course I'm constantly missing it. I'm like, oh no, please don't hit me. I don't want to have to start this over. Yeah, I took quite a few hits in getting to the boss. But I get a perfect little finish there. I hope I edited the video perfectly, because again, this is where I started to make my cuts. Yeah, frames are perfect so far. I haven't dropped a single one. Just hoping again that the video quality turns out semi-decent. Ah, there we go. You can see the old zoom, or not zoom in, but fade in effect that I always use. And now it's basically Syphovania. Is it Sypha or Sypha? I've never really known. It looks like Sypha. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's Sypha either. He is such a good party member after all. Ah, remember the... Okay. So the Japanese name was Cypher for them? Okay. Makes sense. So yeah, it would be Sypha. At least those birds are annoying, even though they're dropping those oh-so-annoying fleamen. I saw this room a lot, I remember. Because again, like I said, anytime I just basically messed up in Stage 7, I was like, nope, starting over. Also, you can basically see that the ice spell is great. Why spend 6 overpowered whips when it can just take 1 freeze spell and 1 smack to take him out? And it's not even like it takes that many hearts, it only takes 1 heart to use the spell. Totally just valuable. But this room is... oh my goodness, this room gave me a few problems. You have to jump at the edge a lot of the time. My problem isn't so much with jumping on the little teeter-totter platforms, but this jump right here. You have to be on the very edge just to make it. It is oh so easy to miss that last teeter-totter and fall in the pit, and that's why we're doing a victory hop. My goodness. I think I had at least 3 failed takes there. It was driving me insane. Because I did not think this stage was that hard. And yet, I messed this one up probably the second most. Yeah, I know, they put that last teeter-totter, like, right next to the final platform, too. That's like, what are... you don't even have to make a jump from it. It's just the jump to it that's the pain. Also, this room I found out that if you stay a little up top or even jump into the black, it's basically like touching spikes. I was toying around with that. Like I said, there were a lot of mistakes here. Luckily, you can pretty much just stay in the same spot and just drop. Don't even mess around. I'm feeling pretty confident because this is the most health I've had at this point, and then I mess it up like that, like a fool. Oh, I'm a fool. I'm looking for meat now, pretty much desperate, and of course, there isn't any. So I can only take 1 hit. And what did we say about Konami and asset reuse? Oh hey, it's the Castlevania 1 boss again. Yeah, it's kind of funny to see him. Well, yeah, but guess who the next guy is? It's like, I'm not even going to pretend to joke about it. It's like, yeah, it's totally going to be, you know, it's going to be him again. Yeah, a little bonkers. I think this is the last time you face him in this game. It's, like I said, it's been a while. And of course I get hit, but luckily it doesn't take off that much health. I was nervous then, because it hit me there and taken off 4 bars, I'd be in real trouble for this fight. This guy kind of reminds me of the final boss in Castlevania 1. Had I backed up farther enough, I wouldn't have been hit, but it's okay. Because he's so slow to the attack, you should be able to get enough hits in on him to finish him off. 1 bar of health left. Yeesh. Hey, 2 stages in a row with a cool pose, too. That made me happy. The next stage is one of the easiest stages in the entire game. But there's one thing that prevents it from being the easiest overall, and that would be the thing at the very end of the stage. Hey. Again, I'm wondering why I'm not switching to Sypha for this, because let's face it, he and his magic are just so overpowered for those knights. Jump straight up there so you don't get poked by the sword or hit by the net. You know, it's kind of funny, because like I said, Castlevania was, with you anyway, Castlevania is one of those series I didn't get into until way, way later. I mean, I didn't start playing this one until 2007, the series, and that was with Symphony of the Night when it was released on the 360 then, when we had one that actually worked. Man, that was a bad system. No, there's nothing wrong with them localizing it like that, because the ending will correct that. Oh, so they didn't genderize that then. So was it like Azure Striker Gunvolt with the one person that they call Z with an XE? Also, it's way too late in the video for some people to still be paying attention, but yeah, you should probably buy Azure Striker Gunvolt. Good game. Ah, they don't even use the pronoun then. That makes sense. If I'm not mistaken, there's a cross in the candle I'm about to whack, but I would rather have the water spell, and you'll see why in just a minute. But we have another little bridge falling apart section. Also, for some reason, the bottom part there reminds me of Crystal Man stage from Mega Man 5. Even when I'm not playing Mega Man, apparently I'm always thinking about Mega Man. Also, this game came out before that. But yeah, this is the hardest part of the level. It's Death. He's always the hardest part of a Castlevania game, it seems like. Oops. And we're in a bit of trouble here, health-wise. 1 bar of health again. Are we going to be able to do it? The one thing that's bad about the water spell is sometimes its homing capabilities are kind of bad. Other times it works fine. Good news is, though, we've got this pretty much wrapped up if you'd come over here. Yep. I think I let out an audible yeah when I beat that, because I believe Death killed me no less than 5 times. Ugh, I swear, he's one of the hardest bosses to me. And I was totally about to compare him to Kracko from Kirby, because Kracko almost always gets me too. In fact, I think Triple Deluxe was the first time Kracko didn't kill me. Also another good game on the 3DS. I wish they made a good Castlevania on the 3DS. You didn't get to hear me complain about Mirror of Fate for a brief moment when you were out. Not a terrible game, mind you, but that's not what I'm looking for in Castlevania. Nope. Already on the penultimate stage now. This is going pretty well. Yeah, there aren't many games I've played on the 3DS that were mediocre. That one is one of them, though. Also, this jump's kind of annoying, too, because you have to wait for the 1 spikes to rise up high enough. First time playing this level, I nicked the very edge of them on my jump, and that's an instant kill. Bummer. Oh, hey, another stair climbing room with these guys. Doggone it. And, to make matters worse, there's also wave art guys, so... time for Syphovania 3 again. Oh, it wasn't Cypher, it was Sypha. Okay. Well, thanks for that. Me being the not-so-huge Castlevania fan, that's kind of neat to know. I don't know if I mentioned this in Castlevania 4, but my 2 favorites are Rondo of Blood for the old-style mode, although I like the one on the PSP more since I haven't played the one that you're always going on about, the original version, and of course Symphony of the Night. Dawn of Sorrow was very good, though, too. Yeah, there's a few frames. I've lost a grand total of 88 this whole run, but as long as it can keep going at a decent clip, we're good. I'm pretty sure it's all from that waterfall, too. I hope it can stay fine, because like it keeps going from green to yellow to red on OBS right now, and for the majority of the run it's been going in green. Wonder if my computer's like saying, "No, please stop, you're killing me." I'm surprised it's been 40 minutes now myself. Another auto-scrolling room. Don't want to get too far ahead, because you never know when a skeleton's going to pop up right in your face. Actually, no, with OBS right now, I'm usually a green, which is kind of cool. Were you there when I fell off the staircase earlier? Back in block 5, I believe it was. Well, back in block 5, my second demise, I saw a bird, I got scared, and I just fell off a staircase. I walked up, I climbed down, and I pressed left and fell to my doom. Also, I'd be stunned if this part doesn't cause some issues, too, because there's just so much going on. Oh, jumping right into the merman. This is another stage where it was like, I'd get hit one time too many. Yeah. Actually, I don't think I have the ice spell right now, though. I could be wrong on that. Because I saw later that you can freeze the waterfall, and I thought that was so cool. I was like, oh my goodness. It's a shame some of these mermen aren't popping up, because they really make this part annoying. One of those you can only see just how frustrating this bit gets. I do believe this is one of the levels where I leave in an extra death at the end just to show where I messed up. Could be wrong though. I might actually mess up here. Yeah, that was a bad jump, and that's going to cost me. Oh, goodness. I'm going. Yeah. Rather than fast-forwarding back, I'd rather just actually show the run again here. So far, I think that makes 3. At least that you guys have seen. I don't think this part's as stupid as I just think it's annoying. As long as I don't get hit too much, I'm fine. And what's worrisome here about these birds is that they will get in your way, they will fly through, they will fly off screen, but most of the time they'll come back. That time they didn't, and I'm so glad for that. Well, you can call it a stupid part, though, but really, at least you get to hear good music. Picking up the knife. See, Medusa heads, no problem. Have I even been hit by one yet this whole run? I don't think so. And this time, let's actually make the jump up top, so we can just pretty much spam this from down here and win. I said spam this from down here and win. I said, oh my goodness. So, I believe that's 3 bosses in a row where I just barely managed to win. Oops. And that was my funniest mistake in this, but you know what? There were others. Oh, man almighty. I can be good at video games. This is actually a restart from a game over, however. So this one's pretty darn fair. Because most of the other times I just reload the state that I had. The one problem with this stage is the one thing I've been praising up to this point. This song is horrible. It hurts my ears. And I want to say at this point that this stage took me a bit. Mainly because of hubris. This room gave me some problems too, though. Mainly because I dropped way too soon and that would cause issues. I wanted the authentic Castlevania 3 experience, so I played the original, the English version. Once you get on that gear, don't get too hasty, because you still have to make a couple jumps on it before you can finally jump on the staircase to get out of here. If you keep going down those steps without stopping, you can avoid that bat. Get a few hearts, but the good news is if you can hold on to your axe, you can get the one up here. Yay! And at this point, I'm just like, no, I just want to make it through the door. Because I know how that room goes if you take your time. No, 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 don't want to do that. I wish the axe would take out that stupid skeleton below because he's so annoying. True story, there's a enemy that can drop in from above on you when you're climbing up that final staircase, and I find that to be very cheap. I also find these bats to be very cheap, but that's just me. I think these guys don't show up in the Japanese version, and I did pause the game there just for a split second because I thought I was going to fall into the pit and basically be forced to restart again. But I didn't. It's okay. We're going to take on the final boss with absolutely no health, and I'm sure this won't go weird. Thankfully, they're nice enough to give you a fire spell near the end, which you want. You have to be careful here, because that fire will just decimate you if you're not careful. The reason you want the fire is because it can multi-hit his second form here. And believe me, we want to get as many heads on the left destroyed before it's too late, because otherwise you don't have a safe spot when he's dripping the acidic blood or whatever it is that's coming out. Yes, 2 hits is multi-hit. And then you get the final boss, and my goodness, this is kind of crazy. You have platforms, you have 2 platforms that'll come up from the ground. You won't know which blocks they are. They're never on the side, though, thankfully, so you have a safe spot. You also have lasers that can come out of his left claw, his right claw, or his beak. I mean, granted, I could just sit here and toss axes at him all day, but I kind of want to play this a little bit better than just being Mr. Cheapola for the final phase. You know, because I am apparently okay at video games. Not really. Oh, you're gonna see something funny at the end of this, I can tell you that much. Especially me getting caught up on blocks there. Sheesh. All in all, this is a much more satisfying final boss fight than Castlevania 4's was, where you didn't even really get a second form. Granted, he did new attacks at the end, but yeah, that was one of my least favorite Dracula fights in any Castlevania, which is saying something. Just a few more hits and we got this one wrapped up. Maybe. And here I'm like, nope, let's just win it. Yay! Castlevania 3 is beaten. Dracula's curse has been defeated yet again by me, Trevor Beanmont, who is some reason talking like Dracula. Yeah, I played it very safe here. You want to know why? Let's take a look. That, also Sypha's a girl, not a guy. Surprise. That death happened about 25 minutes before I actually won. That was a painful, painful moment. Yeah, I know. Totally laughing at me in the chat. Sheesh. Here's the thing, when you die to Dracula, you do not go and start from the final boss room like you did in Castlevania 1. You actually go back to the start of Block 2. Or not, you started the second part of that final stage, excuse me. You don't go all the way back to Block 2, thank goodness. So yeah, that was Dracula's Curse. The easy route. That's right, that's the easy route of the game. Oy vey. One day I want to play the harder part. Oh man, there is an infamous little room in Block 7-5, I think it is, in that southern path. Ridiculous. Man almighty. Still, it's definitely a fun game, and like I said, of the 3 of the first 4 I've played, this is definitely my favorite. Haven't played 2 yet, but maybe one day. Don't know if I'd want to stream that, though. That one's not as streamable. Yeah, well. And thank you very much for watching. All 8 of you that probably make it this far, because nobody watches Castlevania vids. Maybe I will play the original version of Rondo at one point. Probably not Dracula X, though. Yeah! We did it! Woohoo! I guess that's it. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching Castlevania 3.